do is launch the all-new 2020 Shelby GT500. What you're going to experience today is what this 2020 Shelby GT500 is all about. Fastest production Mustang we've ever done, not only on a straight line, but on a road course.
What we're going to be doing today is just kind of a demonstration of the straight line acceleration as well as the launch control on the new Tremec dual clutch transmission. Drag racing's easy, ask anybody. You just go in a straight line, you don't got to turn. It's easy. We're running a Pro Tree today. That is going to be 3 yellows and a green. Not your traditional yellow, second yellow, third yellow, go. I think it's a little bit easier. It's impossible to red light on a Pro Tree. None of us here are that good. We've got the launch control already set for you. So when you get up there, I want your left foot lightly on the brake to keep the car from moving. And I want you pinned to the floor with the accelerator. Hold it. Just hold it to the floor. Don't be nervous. It's going to make some noise. That's good. It's going to hold you right at 1500 RPM automatically. You don't have to do anything. Once you see those 3 yellows flash, I want your foot off that brake. Left foot off, keep your right foot down, point it straight down the track.
This is the new 2020 Ford Mustang Shelby GT500. This is a car that all of us have been waiting so long to see, and especially see going down the drag strip. Yes, I drove the car first thing on the drag strip. Crazy, right? I've been thinking about this car for so long now, and next thing I know, I'm sitting in the car at a drag strip, told to go full throttle the entire time. Don't worry about it, the car is going to handle everything on its own, you'll be good to go. The thing that caught me off guard though was that initially, when I first sat in the car, I put my left foot to the floor because I saw that Cobra badge right in front of me, and instinctively, I just thought, okay, I'm in a manual transmission Mustang. But then nothing happened, nothing was there. I had to use my right hand and look down and spin a rotary gear selector, a rotary transmission dial, and put the car into drive. That was just a bit different to me. I'm not very accustomed to it. Once the car started moving though, that is when I noticed, hey, this isn't an ordinary automatic transmission. Ford calls it an automated manual. And that is because many of the characteristics that help to describe what this transmission is relate more to a manual transmission vehicle. Anyways, though, driving it definitely does not feel like an automatic because it's not as smooth taking off. I did hear a lot of concern online about whether this car would feel a bit clunky. Honestly, from my experience so far, it sort of does at the very low speeds. I noticed this just creeping from a stop to the staging area on the drag strip. Once I got there though, I looked down, the car is already in drag mode and launch control was already set up. What was a bit strange though is that when I put my left foot on the brake all the way down and my right foot to the floor on the gas, the car started holding 1500 RPM. It produced a similar revving effect as what you see in a Ford GT's launch control system. It kind of feels like a video game. I sat there and I waited patiently for the light to turn green. Next thing you know, I see a green light. I remove my left foot off the brake. Then nothing happens. There's a pause. And I'd say it was a pretty decent pause. Maybe a second or a bit less or maybe even longer. It was really hard to tell. My foot was to the floor, the light was green, and the car wasn't moving. I felt like I messed something up. I was looking around for a second going, what's happening? And that is when everything caught me off guard. Out of nowhere, the car just launches forward. I did notice quite a bit of wheel spin taking off, and even halfway down the quarter mile, the car was still spinning a bit. However, though, it just felt very confident. I felt like the car knew what it was doing the entire time down the drag strip. It was one of those experiences where the car was really driving me. And here comes the good stuff. The feeling of this car. It doesn't feel like a normal Mustang at all. I can definitely see why this is the ultimate Mustang of all time. That is a factory-built Mustang. The feeling of the acceleration is just so unique because it never lets off. All the way up to max redline to the next gear, it feels like one continuous motion. The speeds of the shifts make it feel like the car never lets go of the pull. The pull never diminishes. The acceleration just keeps going, keeps building. That is why I think this car feels like it has more than 760 horsepower, especially compared to my Shelby's, because when I'm going full throttle, yes, those cars feel fast too, but it's different because there's a split-second pause where I gotta put the clutch in, shift the gear, release the clutch, and get back on throttle. In this new GT500, since there is no pause, it makes it feel like it's faster than it really is. I'm not kidding, I'm flying down the quarter mile going 125 miles an hour. My first pass ever. It just felt so... It was a bit surreal because the moment finally happened. I drove a 2020 GT500, something I've been waiting so long to do and share with all of you guys. It doesn't feel like a GT350. That is one thing I've heard so many people talking about, how this is a GT350 on steroids. To me, I don't see that similarity at all. The feel of it feels more refined than a GT350. It feels like it is a more luxurious car, but at the same time, it just feels much more extreme. The transmission itself, driving it at medium to high speeds, it's very smooth and easy to use. You can just leave it in automatic mode and drive it normally with ease. Nothing to worry about. However, though, for me, since I love changing the gears myself, I left the car in manual mode because I wanted to get a good idea at how quickly the car would shift when I would hit each paddle shifter. Upshifting, downshifting, the thing was just instant. Again, it feels like a video game. It doesn't feel like I'm truly driving the car. It feels like the car is so good that it makes anyone just a fast driver. And in today's age, I think that's what most people are looking for. However, though, in the next video, I'm going to share with you guys how this car feels on the racetrack. In this video, though, I really do want to focus on how the car feels going straight in the quarter mile. My first pass was over, and as you can see from the video you just saw, we just kept going and going and going. The one reoccurring thing I just kept noticing is that the car feels so confident. I really do think Ford did a great job making this car super balanced in the sense that it doesn't have too much horsepower, it's not overbearing in a certain facet, it all comes together. It feels like a solid package. Everything that you would think this new GT500 is or was, I think it does live up to it to a certain extent. If you want to buy this new 2020 GT500 and take it to the drag strip, you should definitely do it, because when I was driving it on the drag strip, it was super fun. The feeling of launching the car, even with the wheel spin, once it hooks up, the entire car just squats down and it feels like a missile taking off, and it just keeps going and going and going. What's interesting about it is that just sitting in the car, though, it feels like it's a very familiar place to be in. That's because all the Mustangs really share the same interior. There is another aspect I really do want to touch upon. That is of the times. You saw all those passes, and you may be wondering, well, what kind of times were we actually running? Well, I'll be honest with you, they weren't the fastest times ever. This car has a lot more potential than what we experienced. That is because where this track is located, it is at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. You have to consider the DA at this location. Plus, the conditions were not ideal. These cars are going for run after run, pass after pass, non-stop all day. The times the media and the journalists were getting were roughly around low 11s to mid 11s, and some of them even got high 11s. For the sessions you watched in this video, Ford did end up turning off the timing because they didn't want to give the car a bad name because, well, as I just mentioned, the conditions were not that good, and since they were worsening, they decided to turn off all timing in order to make the car not look bad. What's awesome is that a few people did get the car to go into the 10s. Here's what the head of Shelby American has to say about it, Gary Patterson and Jim Owens, Ford Marketing.
Got us there.
Right, and remember too, this is at 2,100 feet of elevation, and a lot of times the density altitude, depending on temperature, barometer, and all that, one of the days I know was 3,800 feet, and then it was 3,600 feet, so it's almost like you're going to Denver, Colorado. So the fact that the car is even running low 11s or something is absolutely remarkable.
And into the 10s for
And
some
into
of
the
them.
10 for some of them is crazy.
Yeah, and if you think about it, walk up the stairs when you're at like 8,000 feet. And you know what? I mean, I'm in decent shape. Not as good a shape as you are, obviously, but I'm in decent shape. And, I'll get winded. I'll be like, the air doesn't process quite the same at that altitude as it does at sea level. The same effect you have on the drag strip for the cars as well. You're going to see how all of these pieces fit together to run a 10.7, not here, we ran, I think the lowest the journalist ran was a 10.82 this week. 10.82 on a stock drag strip car that can also go left and right on a road course is pretty amazing. And this is the technology that helped get us there.
And well, there you have it. Those are my first driving impressions of the new 2020 GT500 on the drag strip. Please stay tuned for the next coming videos where we take this car on the racetrack and also we go for a street drive. It's going to be very awesome. I think you guys are really going to like the content that is about to come. Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. It really does help me out. And subscribe for much more great videos to come. Stay tuned for our own 2020 GT500. I am super excited about it, and I'll definitely share the car with all of you guys and give tons of rides. Anyways, please let me know in the comment section down below if you are impressed with this 2020 Shelby GT500 and also the content you would like to see in the future. Thanks for watching again, and I'll see all of you in the next episode.